finishing what you start. Haven't we all been guilty at some time in our lives of starting a project and being excited and enthusiastic about it, and before too long, we lost interest and moved on to the next new exciting project? While cleaning out a closet recently in preparation for an upcoming move, I ran across an old bag of cross-stitching materials and supplies. I was really kind of surprised because I forgot that I used to cross-stitch. There's one particular project in that bag that I've literally been working on for about 20 years, but I haven't touched it in the last 15. I haven't finished it or any other cross-stitch projects because, frankly, I don't see myself as a cross-stitcher anymore. According to Dr. Susan Carey, starting a new project is a little bit like falling in love. It's new and exciting. It's infused with emotion. The novelty is a motivator. New loves capture our imaginations. We imagine our new project or our new interest is all good, but often we don't pay much attention to the potential obstacles or the challenges that may get in the way. Maybe the project gets hard. Maybe it's a drudgery. Maybe it's not as easy as we hoped it would be. Or we simply find something else that excites us and we move on to the next thing. There's lots of reasons why we don't finish what we start. Not finishing something like a cross-stitching project may not be a big deal. Not finishing what you start really doesn't matter unless it becomes a pattern that causes chaos in your life or distress. Or if not finishing what you start prevents you from creating a future for yourself or your family. And herein lies the problem. Community college students are in greater numbers than ever before. More and more students are choosing to start college, but too few students are finishing college. In fall 2013, more than 1.7 million students chose to enroll in a community college, which is more than half of all the undergraduate students in the United States. For every 100 students in Texas who enroll in public higher education, 79 of them go to a community college. Of that 79, do you know how many graduate? In 2 years. 1, 2 out of 79. Okay, so let's double the time, 4 years. Surely it goes up if you double the time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you have graduated from a community college in 4 years. That is way too many people not finishing what they start. But why does that really matter? If you walk up and down the halls of a college, what you'll hear is that matters because by 2020, 60% of the jobs are going to require a degree or certificate. Okay, but what if you don't want one of those jobs that requires a degree or certificate? There are real, tangible benefits associated with having a college degree. Sure, money, security, options, open doors, independence, those could be yours if you choose. So given that more and more jobs will require a college degree, community colleges across the United States are working hard to solve the completion problem. In 2009, President Obama issued the American Graduation Initiative, calling for a goal of 5 million more degrees and certificates to be awarded by community colleges by 2020, so that the United States would once again have the highest proportion of college graduates in the world. Since issuing that call, the national focus has been on increasing college graduation rates, and tens of millions of dollars have been spent by major foundations, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Lumina Foundation, just to name a few, to help us as community college change policies and processes to significantly improve degree completion. referred to as the completion agenda, each of the programs that have emerged, completion by design, completion matters, it doesn't matter what it's called, they all have a common mission, and that is to help get more students to graduate. College administrators, including myself, have met in places like Dallas, San Antonio, San Francisco, Asheville, North Carolina, to find ways to make sure most students finish what they start and graduate. In fact, I'm going to Washington, D.C. on Saturday to present on the collective impact of college completion. Sounds very important. For the past 3 years, and just down the hall, I've been involved with a variety of completion initiatives, and at our own institution, we have CBD, FOE, QEP, EIEIO. When a bunch of college administrators get together to talk about this stuff, we throw around terms like high-impact practices, engaging students, creating clear pathways through college. We talk about policies that need to change, like maybe we shouldn't require students to apply for graduation, we'll just do that automatically for them. But on the airplane home from San Francisco, Dallas, San Antonio, Asheville, I always wonder, whose success are we really talking about? At best, I have a hunch. At worst, I have a fear that we are focused more on the college's success. After all, funding will soon be tied to our performance, and not enough on student success. Are we inadvertently ignoring at the center of these policies and processes the people, the students? We know a lot about students. We know that over half of our students will show up not ready for college academically. We know that part-time students are far less likely to finish than full-time students. And we know that if you don't know that you're going to college by 7th grade, you probably won't. And we know that many of our students have very real, very complex life challenges. But the other thing I wonder when I drive home after a long day at work is whether or not it would make a difference if college did everything perfectly. So what if student orientation was perfect and provided all the information anyone would ever need during the entire course of their degree plan, all in one day? And what if every faculty member was engaging during each hour of the 48 times they met your class during the semester? And what if every financial aid barrier and confusing registration process was automated or even removed? Would all that make a difference? Actually, it's an exercise in futility because that will never happen. Colleges will never be perfect. We can identify the reasons students don't finish college, but what no one else will tell you, and I'm not supposed to tell you, is that we don't know what the answers are either. We're struggling to find the right answers. One of the most common answers that we use is that, well, students don't do optional. Okay, so we say it flippantly, they don't do optional. So we mandate student orientation. We mandate a student success course. We mandate that you see an advisor before you register. We mandate you talk to somebody before you graduate. We mandate class attendance, but I wonder, are those mandates really just a cop-out? It seems to me to be contradictory to say students don't do optional. Well, okay, but college is optional. Compulsory education in the United States ends at age 16 or 18, depending on what state you live in. So if students don't do optional, then why are they opting into college in the first place and in record numbers? Obviously, they do optional at some point. So I have in my power as a college administrator to do things to and for students. I can try to simplify college by doing things like making the college application easier to read or making sure that the signs around campus all point in the right direction and make sense. But I try to imagine what would change and how students would adapt if instead of doing 2 and 4 students, we once again invited students to share in the responsibility for their education. If we began treating students like partners, where I respected their autonomy to make a choice, would they start behaving more like partners instead of just showing up and being done too? As a veteran college administrator, I will tell you something else that I'm not supposed to tell you. It really doesn't matter if you finish your degree or not. I personally give you my permission as Vice President of Instruction that you do not have to finish college. Okay, if there's parents in the room, they're saying, would you please shut up now? Maybe you've already chosen not to finish college. Maybe someday you'll be cleaning out your own closet in preparation for a move and you run across a textbook and it serves as a reminder, oh yeah, there's that class I didn't finish. That's okay. College is not a magic bullet. College is hard. College is really optional. Because here's another fact. Life is hard. How you approach life is optional. It's your choice. But maybe someday, remember a new project is like falling in love, you'll get tired of kissing the frogs and you'll find the prince or the one you want to finish with. Will you know how to press through the hard days? Will you know how to keep loving your prince on the days he's not very lovable? Will you know how to finish what you started when the new and the novel is gone and wears off? Finishing a college degree, my friends, is not what matters most. What matters most is knowing how to finish what you choose to finish because you see yourself finishing it. Angela Duckworth discovered that successful people have a unique trait, and it's one that trumps everything else, IQ or any other predictors of success. That unique trait is what she calls grit. I'll read it. A passionate commitment to a single mission and an unswerving dedication to achieve that mission. Duckworth's research on grit also shows there's a very crucial difference between motivation and volition. What we must distinguish between motivation and volition is that difference between wanting something and choosing something. When you only want something, you will eventually fail to put in the necessary hard work, and then you experience the consequences of not putting in the necessary hard work. But if you choose something, the odds are better that your behavior and actions will reveal, this is who I am. Seems to me then, as I think through this, that the students who move away from wanting a college degree to choosing to be a college student are the ones most likely to finish. This is a shift in mindset. Carol Dweck did research on mindset, and she calls it the growth mindset. It's based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your own efforts. Having a passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or perhaps even especially when it's not going so well. That's the hallmark of a growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times of their lives. And college is often one of the most challenging times anyone's ever experienced. So community colleges are open admissions institutions. That means everyone has access to higher education, and we should stay that way. By our very nature and very much on purpose, we attract some of the grittiest students that you'll ever meet. I've seen the single mom who's got 2 kids who's working full time. I've seen her. and she still gets a 4.0 and graduates on time. But we also attract students who may not have much grit for college because they've never really seen themselves as college students. It's highly likely that no one in their family has been to college before, or they've been told directly or indirectly that they're not college material. They come to us hopeful and wanting, but when they face that first challenge, they see it not as an opportunity to learn, but as confirmation that college wasn't for them, so they don't finish what they started. And then there are the students whose parents have told them how smart they are all their lives and who earn trophies and awards for sitting the bench on the baseball team. These students come with an attitude of entitlement for a degree. Why wouldn't they? They've perhaps never had to work hard before. They're smart, they're capable, and they've been told that all their lives. So when they meet their first challenge, they don't know what to do, how to respond. They're smart, they're capable, so something must be wrong with the college. And so mom steps in to rescue and calls my office. So the old Cheap Trick song is going through my head. This will reveal my age. I want you to want me. Anybody know it? I hope. That keeps going through my head. I want students to want to. I don't want them to just follow mandated and automated processes mindlessly because they have to. I want them to want to because college is optional, even if they are in class because mom made them. The student still controls what they learn, choose to learn, or whether or not they're going to learn anything. I want to be honest with students from the beginning. I want them to know that just because they show up for college doesn't mean they will finish college. I want them to know that it will take grit and determination. I want them to press on even when class is boring and when they have 3 papers due and an exam all on the same day. That will happen. I want them to embrace the challenge, not run away from it. I want them to know that colleges are not now and never will be perfect places. I want to expand the conversation from what we do for and to students to include what we do with students, because finishing college is not what really matters. What matters is becoming a learner who can finish what matters. In closing, I'll leave you by speaking directly to 3 groups of people: students, parents, and my colleagues. Students, your education is yours, and it's optional. You have choice. Parents, what kind of enabler are you going to be? Because you too have a choice. And to my colleagues, the completion agenda is a good thing. As college leaders, we have a legal obligation and a moral responsibility to make our colleges the best they can be. But what if we had the guts to ask the following question? Is the completion agenda complete? To paraphrase Aristotle, excellence is never an accident. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Because after all, college is optional. Thank you very much.